I bought myself a new cordless drill, and what I was thinking of doing was to open it with you, so at least we see what is inside the box. I charge the batteries, and then I have a few bits and pieces here, and we can go outside and put a few screws in a piece of plywood and drill a few bits and see how good or bad the drill works. So this was under £50 when I bought it. The carry case is already quite good, quite handy. It should come with two batteries. Set of instructions seems already very good in several different languages. So that's the drill itself. With one of the batteries already. As I said, I will probably put it on charge, but it seems to be already pretty good. Of course, as all the cordless drills, you have a different selection with regards to the torque drive. So the lower numbers are generally for smaller screws in wood, higher numbers for higher screws, and of course if you turn it all the way to the drill part, then is when you can potentially use all drilling tools anyway, then we will test later. This is, I assume, for the reverse gear just over here. I'm not too sure what the top one there is, but we'll check it in a second. The feel is already very, very good. Let's carry on and check what else we have in here. Okay, we have a pretty decent selection of tools already. So screw types, nuts and bolts, and a couple of drill bits. I'll get them out in a second. That's the charger, the second battery. Oh, okay, and this is also for when you need to drill on particular type of angle. So of course once you put it onto the head of it, there you go, there it turns. So let me charge the batteries and open the tools and everything else, and then we test it straight away. So I've placed one of the batteries on charge already. The way that it works is by attaching the jack of the adapter straight into the battery. There is no LED on the battery to tell you when it's charged, but it's actually directly onto the adapter itself. In the meantime, when that charges, we can go through some of the tools that we have here. And I was saying to you guys about this little switch on the top. I discovered that this is a gear shifter, so when it's on the forward position, it limits the spin between 0 and 400 RPM, repetition per minute, so it's ideal for something like screws. When you put it on the back position, it goes from 0 to 1400, so if you need to drill into something, that's the way to use it. The selection of tools also seems pretty decent, considering, as I said, this was under £50, comes with two batteries, seems to have a pretty decent torque, a basic screwdriver system that is generally quite handy to have for vast majority of screws. Most of these drill bits are, let's be honest, quite cheap drill bits, mostly for metals, but it is good to have an option of a few in there. This is sort of a cutting tool, again possibly not the top quality of material, but you know, it is free, I'm not complaining at all. These are actually quite useful, so you have quite a selection of different screw heads. Some of them are hexagonal as well. Tool to attach the heads to the drill, and this is also for attaching the nut and bolts options to it as well. So there you go, and of course you have quite a large selection of those as well. So it's actually quite a nice touch to have multiple tools already included. To fully test the batteries to see how well they last, how quickly they charge and whatever else, it will probably take me quite a few weeks of use. So I will update this review constantly, just to let you know how good the drill performs through times, and in particular the batteries, how quickly they charge and discharge when in use. So already a few considerations. Firstly, I couldn't be bothered leaving the battery on charge for too long, so I actually charged it just for about half an hour. But as you saw, it performed incredibly well. I will now put it through a full charge and wait and everything else. With regards to the screws, I just realized, well, I realized while I was reading it there, this old and rusty screw was a bit bent, so it wasn't potentially the right choice to make when I was testing the drill, but at least you saw that it worked well with that as well. This has plenty of power. I don't know if you noticed, guys, but it went through everything absolutely fine, apart from when yeah, my butterfinger didn't particularly help initially when I was putting this drill bit onto it, and yeah, originally didn't put it on too well, but once everything was put into position perfectly, this performed very, very well. One little negative point, I was saying earlier on, some of the drill bits here are potentially a bit on the cheap side. Again, not exactly a problem and something that happens quite often with these type of things, but I don't know if you can see the screwdriver bits already has some very small indentation of it. Still working absolutely fine, but yeah, it's potentially not the hardest of metal. But the drill itself, well, seems absolutely fantastic. As I said, I will update you with regards of how well the batteries performed, how quickly they charge and everything else. I will probably put some comments below. But as a machine, as a drill, you notice, guys, it has plenty of power, and actually for very little money, considering that it comes with 2 batteries and all the bits and pieces. So I'm delighted with my purchase. And I was trying to show also it's got a little LED light right on the front as well, which makes the job a bit easier with certain type of tasks. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm very pleased with my purchase, and more updates to come about it. Thank you, and if you like this review, please thumbs up and subscribe as usual, would be very helpful. Thanks again. Bye.